Speaking of the 80s, our final judges are proudly returning to the Toronto area, Christina Carr and Martin Hunger, aka Carr Hunger Creative. They met in 1987 at a Doctor Who convention and have been attached at the hip ever since. What has kept them together is the insane need to create and perform. Titles under their belts include master costumers, cosplayers, prop makers, director, special skills and character actors, writer, co-producers, and much more. Working for productions and projects as small as local theater and festivals to mid-sized conventions and promoters to as large as mainstream TV series and movies. They have recently moved back from Vancouver to Toronto to support their ever-growing entertainment industry. Find them online as Carr Hunger, with a dot in between every one. With a dot in between every letter. Yep, C-A-R-R-H-U-N-G-R. And feel free to stop them to chat about their exploits. Martin and Christina, welcome home. It's good to see you.
Total complete sigh. Hello folks, I am hoping some more people are around. Earlier today my attempt at a Don't Poke the Lion broadcast was thwarted by the bleed down to other social medias and feeds, and some of them just screwed up and some of them didn't. And I said, you know what, I'm giving up. Awesome, thank you, Shane. I said I'm giving up and I'll come back and do it later on the computer, and ta-da! Doing it on the computer means I have a little more control. I know the evil laugh. I gotta perfect it. I keep practicing it and it's just not working. And look at okay, here. Probably for a few of you. The non-trimmed, half-dead COVID hair. Because today I didn't want to wear a hat. I just didn't. The weather was actually pretty decent today, which is nice. So, Don't Poke the Line, as some of you know, is, I think I missed your outside chat. It didn't go far. It went about 15 minutes when I realized things weren't working on two of the feed downs properly. I decided that using up airtime, it's the lion's mane. I know, it's kind of the flat lion's mane right now. It's, ugh. I have got to invest in something, just something, to get rid of all these dead ends without chopping them off, because I can't stand the thought of my hair being like, wig, yeah, put me in a wig. Wow, real, no, I would be washing my hair and it would be like, oh, so yeah, no, but yeah, I'm trying to do the bangs to one side because they're so long right now. It's, if I put them in the middle, they cover my face completely. But yes, mine is fluffy and eek, eek. Kind of like the mouse's mane. Eek. I have discovered that drinking out of a straw, no matter what vessel the liquid is better when I've got this mic here, because to not drink out of a straw, just the vessel gets in the way. Yay! So, yes, for those of you watching not on Haps, get your butt over to Haps. It's Haps, HAPPS.tv /@ Carr Hunger for me, well, for us. And I used to have two broadcasts, two completely different channels, one for Don't Poke the Lion and one for Carr Hunger. But it became way too much to manage them all and to keep up, regularly broadcasting on Don't Poke the Lion, as well as being here on Carr Hunger with Martin. Became way too much to do, and one channel always suffered. So now I'm doing Don't Poke the Lion on the Carr Hunger IDs and titling it as such, so you guys know that Don't Poke the Lion is me. These are my personal broadcasts, and I cover a lot of subjects that predominantly focus on the transitions I've gone through in life and the struggles and philosophies and things that this lion goes through her head. It's a lot of things that Martin really just has no interest in being part of, or at least not as often as I'd like to do it. So by doubling up, I am satisfying myself and letting Martin do his own personal thing when he needs to. So I'm much more gregarious than he is, and I am what they call an ambivert. An ambivert is someone who is an extrovert but requires introverted time in order to restock the energy, so to speak. That's the best way to put it. An ambivert is both an introvert and an extrovert, depending on what the situation is. Martin is an introvert that likes expressing himself when he feels safe. And if he does it too often, he gets exhausted and nothing happens. So, these are mine. And this time I decided to talk about relationships because we have relationships. Sounds like you. Shane, sounds like you, me, or Martin. Sorry, properly, because I'm actually anal about that and gave up on being anal about that and want to be anal about it again. Martin or I. Yay, the English language. Martin or I. You're like Martin. Yes. Oh, Amber, you're like Martin. Cool. Um, and it's really, how are you? I am alive. There's a lot of stress right now in our lives. Um, and I kind of been thinking about it a lot. And the word relationships keep coming up. Relationships with jobs, relationship with uh, landlords, relationships with friends, relationships with Martin and I as a relationship. Um, Shane's more like me, yeah. It's funny because for the longest time, I thought I was just an extrovert, but then I kept burning out, and I couldn't understand why I couldn't keep up with the other extroverts, and it's simply because I need introverted time to be able to ground myself and bring myself back down, or I go everywhere. I just basically become ungrounded and become spazzy, and the hormonal changes are not helping. Really not helping. I'm losing feeling in my legs. Baby kitten in the lap. Aww. So yeah, I require more energy exertion than he does. Um, but he does love being in front of the camera. He does love being on that stage, but he requires a lot of introverted time before he goes and does it. Before he goes out there. If you see any smoky stuff, it's because I've got an incense going. Because I had to ground myself and I was everywhere, so I burnt an incense and it has decided instead of going straight up and filling the air with smell, it has decided to come straight towards me for some reason. Could be the really bad insulation in these windows and the air might be drawing it in that direction. So yes, it's not a ghost, it's just an incense. Uh, Chris, could it be we are both Leos? It could be as well. Um, the problem with being a Leo, the problem with being any time is there's a soft version of the sign and a hard version of the sign. And Martin is a soft Taurus, and I'm a hard Leo. We had about 6 Leos on our cast at the Renaissance Festival at once, and I'm kind of surprised we didn't kill each other. But we, of the 6, 4 were soft, and the other 2 were hard. So it was great. It was a really nice balance. It's amazing that you are so open to share. Well, thank you, Amber. It's something that I always did even before the whole internet thing. And when the internet thing came into place, I shared a little too much. And Martin and I got ourselves in a lot of internet trouble. And it took a number of years to kind of get past that. Um, which is why he now lets me, like, he doesn't let me, it's not a permission thing. It's more I told him I was going to do it and he had to be okay with it. And he is, which I was very happy about. But that's also why I have to be on here more because I need to work those parameters in myself in order to regain the confidence that I lost during a really crazy time in our life. Whereas he still has a very difficult time being open and not being foolishly open, like way too open. Yeah, we got to keep our eyes open for trolls, but I handle them better than he does too. Now, when we're together, we love trolling the trolls, but that's us personally, and it's so much more fun being together because whenever I'm on alone, there's always this huge risk of some guy, getting on and talking about my chest and everything, which is why I do not wear V-neck shirts anymore. Not on air. If it comes down to it and that's what I'm wearing and I go to air, well then that's different. But when I'm on my own like this is as V-necked as it gets. So, but thank you, Amber. I really think that women should get out there and talk more about this without being over emotional or, get the practice in of not taking things personally and not more empowering themselves than defeating themselves. And yes, gentlemen, that does include you guys, to be on here and be open about who you are and being accepted, but not agreed with. It's a very important thing to be accepted but not agreed with. Agreement and acceptance are not the same thing. I keep going to burnout. I don't know when to stop. I've done that a number of times, and I learn, and I'm okay for a little while, and then I go and be foolish again. Yeah, that might be a Leo trait as well. It's really hard to say. Remember, Leos make really excellent politicians and performers. So take your pick. I'd rather be a performer than a politician, but I could probably argue anyone under the table, you know? Did you get the radiator fixed? Oh no, love bug. He's not. No, there's no point in them. They don't care about this building, honey, and they don't care about us. We have to get to the new place. We have to make one final move and stop. But the problem we're running into right now is it's run by a management company, which means we have a greater chance of things actually happening the way they should, as opposed to an individual owner like this place is. Um, and but we have to. We right now are looking for a guarantor, and so that if the rent gets skipped, the management company can go to our friend or whatever. So that's what let's do it. Start a group. Well, Amber, just look for our broadcasts on this channel that are "Don't Poke the Lion." Anything that says "Don't Poke the Lion," those are mine. Those are all mine. Now, it doesn't mean you can't say some things when Martin and I are both on, but leave those for the chatty ones, not for the builds, because then we get very distracted while we're trying to build. And that's a big thing for Martin is building. It's a big thing for me as well. So each broadcast is titled according to what it is and what it's going to be. And so if you look for Don't Poke the Lion, those are those where I'm in this space, sharing my experiences and helping people to understand that, not only are we not all the same, but some of us go through extremes that others don't, and somewhere in those extremes may be one or two little things that you need. Rather a performer than politician, yeah. I'd rather be a moving target as a performer than a politician any day. Leo, Lion, I get it. You got it. Cool. Yeah, I didn't know what to, I started Don't Poke the Lion when I realized that I was in a horrible state of perimenopause. And then I realized a lot of our Periscope viewers didn't know what perimenopause was. So I started a completely separate channel called Don't Poke. Well, I didn't know what to call it at first. And then Martin said, "You're a Leo." People say don't poke the monkey or don't poke. Well, does anyone out there already have Don't Poke the Lion? So I did a search on the internet and realized that no, there's only one space that someone else already claimed, and I think it was Twitter. I don't remember now, because now I've gone and put Don't Poke the Lion as part of Car Hunger, because it was just too difficult to deal with both. But it was Martin's idea to call it that. I told him that if he ever gets the urge to have his own chat to help guys understand, and help guys kind of understand and get through this stage in life when, their woman has reached this point, or has as much experience with life as I do. I suggested that we call it, because he's a Taurus, I suggested we call it Don't Give Me the Bowl. I live with a Gemini cat and Pisces cat. One's crazy and the other is a sign of the twins crazy. Shane, I think you have the perfect combination. What I mean is maybe start something in small groups or Zoom or Skype. Amber, I've done that numerous times over the years. It's really difficult to repair our lives and stay in the entertainment industry and accomplish as much as we need to in order to get back to the space that we need. And it became too much. I couldn't get people interested enough, and there's 1,000 other groups out there, and then I joined them, and then it became, you know, the stereotypical female I feel threatened thing, and it's become exhausting. So the best way for me to put myself out there is to basically just make myself available to you guys when I can, and we chat here, and we gather here, and it's very difficult for my type of person to handle that many women too. A lot of the all-women group that I joined it's just too much. It was just, I find more often than not, women on the majority give in to their insecurities a lot quicker than men do. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't handle it. I wanted to save and rescue all of them. And so my relationships with them just were not productive for me, and it drained me, and it burned me out. So I had to stop starting and start stopping. Um, It's getting a little better, not as fast as I would like, but that may be the impatient Leo, or it might be the hormones with the whole menopause thing. But as of yesterday, according to my gynecologist, I am officially menopausal and I have mixed feelings on it, so I'm trying to smile. Your wife isn't there yet. Women reach the menopausal stage anywhere between the ages of 35 is the youngest reported case. Some women have shown perimenopausal symptoms younger than that, but those are usually women who are infertile. The oldest recorded case is 90 years old. The longest perimenopausal to menopausal state is 10 years, although I read another medical article that said it's 12 years is the longest. Julian Anderson of X-Files, she did put out a book on it. I can't remember what the book is called, but she was a 10-year long one. I was 6 to 8 years. We're not 100% sure because BC, British Columbia, did not do what was required in order for me to be aware of what was happening. They were just like, oh, you're perimenopausal, and they shook it off. Second I got back to Toronto, I got a doctor right away. I got them to push me through the system before I got my OHIP card, and the OHIP card is for medical in Ontario. And yeah, within 4 months, they had me in surgery to force me into menopause. Peri, as in surrounding. Yeah, perimenopause is that in-between state where a woman's body realizes all the eggs are gone and doesn't know what to do with itself. Um, Men have a state called, no, andropause is what a man is. And andropause for a man is when a man starts losing sperm because he's getting more female hormones into his body than male. And basically it becomes a reverse. A woman starts getting more male hormones. And for someone like me who always had a male hormone count that was higher than the other women, well, this makes me even more aggressive now. So it's quite a crazy place. But gentlemen, you lose like an egg, sperm or two a month. No biggie, you produce a billion a day. Yeah, they break out and go into your body, break down and go into your body on a regular basis. Women, once we lose our eggs, we don't produce any more, and that puts our bodies into shock. And that's basically the meat of it. The best way to have a long relationship, whether it's a friendship or a working relationship or a loving relationship with someone who is in any of these states, is to basically understand, A, don't take everything so seriously. B, you're going to have to learn a different way to live if you want to stay around them or talk. And C, understand that this is natural. This is what Mother Nature has given us. We don't have to be happy with her about it, but the least we can do is laugh at her every once in a while and say, hey, this is going to be okay. Martin's should be called Don't Wave the Red Flag. Are you kidding? I would just like be ecstatic if he wore. No, he should wave a white flag because there's no more blood coming out of this woman. She's 35, I'm 39. Cool. It's a good thing to know her family history, both male and female, like both her father and her mother's side, because a lot of that comes from that. I don't have much information. So, on my family history, so it became quite a shock. My mother apparently had a very small perimenopausal stage. Apparently for her, it was a few months, and then it was over with. So apparently, if she has her way, and she's telling me the truth, this would mean it came from my father's side of the family. And since they divorced when I was very young, she's more than happy to blame my father for anything that goes wrong with my body. Going to do live tonight. My right shoulder is sore. Oh, Edward, I'm sorry to hear that. Just learning how to handle things, fighting depression. Yeah, it 90. Some women, yeah, don't hit perimenopause until they're 90. Some women. TTYL, okay. Never heard of andropause. Yeah, most men haven't. There's a lot of things medically that in my mind, and as a writer and as an actor, I understand the need for stereotypes. So I don't knock it. I definitely don't knock it. We have to write stories. But in order to make those stories marketable and to survive, we don't get deep down into it, which is why I started Don't Poke the Line. It's just basically a way for me to be able to say, look, not all of us go through this gracefully, and it's not a bad thing, it's just a difficult thing. But yeah, men have a version as well, and they start getting a little more effeminate. And they have to kind of accept it. But that means you guys are gaining a lot of what the positive things of a woman are. And yeah, you're going to cry at things. Don't be such a man. Don't be a stereotype. Let it happen. If you've got a good girlfriend, a good wife, or even good female friends, they will appreciate you for it to no end. At a certain point in your life, you got to just accept the fact that you're not that young little thing. I keep saying to Martin when he throws little fits now, because he's going through his little thing and I'm going through mine. I say to him, I said, "Oh my God, you're like a 16-year-old girl. You can't make up your mind. You're indecisive. Um, you're. I'm more than happy to let you cry, but you resist it. It's like a 16-year-old girl, and it's so frustrating. It's not enough to say go away, but it is enough for me to look at him and say, okay, listen, we're both changing. We've been in a relationship together for 33 years. This change will either keep the marriage together and the business and the partnership and the friendship if we both handle it right, or I'm more than happy to have a friendship and not have the marriage anymore. We don't have children to impress. We don't have, our parents, the only parent left is my mom, and I don't think she cares. So it's a very different world for us now, and you have to embrace that, or you never recover. You never really bounce back. I'll be right back. Okay, Shane. Women's body goes through much more of a thing, childbearing, than men's. Well, yeah, and I didn't childbear. I didn't have children, which could be part of the reason why when I ran out of eggs, my body decided to develop a false growth. And I've been technically, through most of my perimenopausal stage, I've been technically fake pregnant, and that has affected my friendship. I've lost a lot of friends. That's affected my self-esteem because at this point you start getting things like false appetites and you want to eat everything. You feel like your stomach's empty, but it's not. The exercise you've been doing through your 20s, 30s, and 40s no longer works. You got to learn a whole different kind. When you get to this point, meditation is a hell of a lot more important as an exercise, like things like yoga, than going out and getting on a stairmaster. So it's really difficult because your body's literally trying to kill you. A woman's body is I'm done, eggs are gone, I'm trying to kill you. You don't know what it is, and most people don't talk about it. So you wind up feeling so alone and isolated, especially if you're one of these that goes long. If you're one of those that it's a few weeks of perimenopause, hopefully you're blessed that she only goes through a few weeks. Then yeah, you don't even realize it happened. You had a couple weeks of emotions and it's gone. You no longer have a period. Um, so it seems it would close up shop sooner. Yes, exactly. Same with survival state. Men can get much leaner before sperm production stops. Leaner in a different way. A woman can still get leaner, but like I said, her body basically says you're useless now. And it's really hard for her brain to sit there and say, no, you're not. You still got a life ahead of you. Especially modern society. Think about it. Many, many years ago, when people were created, we died. You were ancient if you were 35. Most of us were dead before we were 40. And now we're living to like 100 and something. It's very unnatural. So if we want to be the new natural, we've got to get our brains out of that tribal space and realize that it's the way it is. Like, I mean, Amazonian women, tribes, full tribes of women, they'd have men in just so they can get pregnant and have babies. X number of women were assigned to take care of the babies. Well, if their mothers were archers or fighters or hunters, were out there doing the jobs. No one in an Amazonian tribe, they even cut off one breast so that they can get more pull out of their bows. I mean, these were women who didn't give a damn who was the aggressor and who was the mother. You did what you had to for the tribe to survive. I love the fact that Jay can cry in front of me. Yeah, see, that's important, Amber. He's got to be able to do that. And, guys, stop being this manly thing. I blocked someone on here because he kept telling Martin that he wasn't allowed to get into the conversation because he only agreed with everything that I have to say because I might see the broadcast later. So Martin looked at me and said, no, I'm offended. I'm upset. He tooted the broadcast as open platform, and it's not. So him and I agreed to block. Of course, I get blamed. But that's typical. Like, I mean, I think women have been blamed more than men since the beginning of time. So by the time they get to a certain point where their hormones are going BS crazy, yeah, it's, of course we lose control. We've been having control for all these years. Well, men have been flipping around and we're supposed to be the good woman, the good wife. Oh, give it a rest, folks. This is no longer ancient times. A lot of us will not have babies. Our relationship with ourselves is so much more important than anything else. Because you got to have that relationship with yourself, or you're lying to everyone when you present yourself. A woman gets low body fat percentage like 12, 13. She could stop periods. She could, but that doesn't mean she doesn't. It doesn't mean she stops her reproductive system as long as there are eggs in there. She can do it. Men don't stop till 5 to 6 body fat. Yeah, exactly. Bodies are more sensitive to maybe this isn't a good time to bear children. Well, a woman's body is always trying to pad out the possibility of having a child. So suffice it to say, when the eggs are gone, a woman's body doesn't know what to do with itself anymore. So it literally tries to kill you. You get cravings you didn't have before. Look at the stereotypical menopausal woman. Okay? Cigarette, big no-no, especially on a daily basis when you're menopausal. Red wine, big no-no, especially on a regular basis. Sitting there doing nothing and bitching about the world. I never got that because I've always been very picky with my wine. I don't smoke cigarettes, I smoke cigars every once in a while. And I'm sitting here and I'm going, I get it now. I was practicing for my version of menopause. You know, it's crazy. It's really crazy because your brain's like, you can't reproduce, so you gotta die now. And the other half of your brain's going, oh, no, 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 no. We're not way back then. You know, and someone like me, at my heaviest, I was 198 pounds. That's actually not my heaviest. My heaviest was 213. But that's another story related to IBS and stress and all these things altogether. But at my healthiest, heaviest weight, I was 198. And it was all muscles. Because I've always had a higher male hormone count than the other girls at school, and I never fit in. And I've got a large rib cage. I've got thick bones. I'm short. But shoot, try to knock me over, man. I'm not going anywhere. Don't arm wrestle with me. Even out of practice for 2 years, I'll still beat you. I may hurt because those muscles haven't been used in a while, but they're still there. Hey, Lady Neva. Women's bodies are more sensitive. It's a good time to purchase. Women's role in childbearing takes much more resources from a body. This is very true. However, it can increase a woman's immune system. When my body, about 10 years ago, roughly, went into this fake pregnancy thing where it started trying to grow a baby where there was no egg and shot up my hormones to the end of nowhere, my immune system shot up right with it. I couldn't get a cold. I couldn't get a flu. Now, I'm not complaining, although I went crazy with the hormones and was ready to kill everyone on the planet if they said boo, on a fairly regular basis, which didn't do my heart any good. My immune system was freaking awesome. You know, I think that's why I haven't gotten COVID, because I've been good, like cleaning my hands and stuff, but nowhere near what they're telling you to do. That whole fake pregnancy thing completely boosted my immune system. And he was like, okay, so that's what I missed out on in my 20s and 30s when I was getting sick all the time. Switch to cannabis, just joking. Thank you, Amber, but I'm allergic to it. Get a job. Facebook user, I don't know who you are, but I will happily check. I have a job. It's called my own company. I'm what they call a freelancer. So if everyone can be patient, because I don't appreciate trolls on any platform. So I'm going to check my personal profile. because the other day it was a quick in and out. It was a coward troll. There we go. It's Tracy again. You know, Tracy, I didn't block you before because I was shocked that you could even, do this after the relationship and the friendship we've had. So I'm not 100% sure it's you. I don't care. I'm hoping at some point, if it's not you, that you go, and so I'm screen capturing that. And then I am going back to you. Because if I remember correctly, Tracy, I supported your small little business. I think it was, what, animal treats, if I remember correctly. Search. So I'm really kind of just disappointed in you. Unless, of course, your profile's been hijacked. So, Tracy, I hope you're still there. Because I don't understand what's eating you. Could be your menopause. It's a shame, and that's what I mean, too. She's roughly in the same age bracket. She's just a tiny bit, and I'm going to finish the sentence before I go and block her. And this is what I mean. I'm not gonna tolerate this. Um, a lot of women, when they get past a certain age, get nasty. Either their lives have failed or decreased or whatever, or they've had an experience that they're not handling very well or whatever, and they strike out at other people instead of handling themselves. Tracing, your friendship has been incredible. I'm sorry that I have to block you. Block. And I'm going to go back to my profile. And I am going to delete her comment. And this is about all you can do. When you get to that point where things aren't working right, or you can't take it out on the people. Tracy here is one of 6 women in the last 2 weeks that have done this, and they're all within my age bracket or older. So I'm about 195 pounds now. Heaviest was 225. And you see, if that's muscle, that's so acceptable for a man. It tends not to be, acceptable for women. 175, 185. Yeah, when I was little, I was about 28 inches in the waist, like when I was a kid, which is not so bad for a kid considering my bone structure. And yeah, I was 135 pounds, which they felt I was overweight, but no one ever did a muscle mass test or a bone test. Okay, so how do I delete this using the app? You know what? I am going to tax my computer just a little bit. I right now can't see the comments, so by all means keep commenting. Those are the times we should. Yes, Amber, you are right, but unfortunately, being women, we have to accept the fact that more often than not, we don't know what to do. No one taught us how to deal with this stuff. No one taught us what to do with it. No one taught us how to handle it. And, because of that, and the psych system isn't going to, it's so overtaxed. If you can afford, there we go, nice and clean and deleted. If you can afford a specialist, then all the power to you. But most of us can't, so we have to figure it out on our own. And it's really hard to be open-minded when you feel like the whole world is against you. So I'm sending a message to Martin, letting him know what happened, so he can decide whether or not he will be doing the same to Tracy on his list. And in all fairness, if he had the same experiences, which men tend not to get, not as often, simply because they're men. And it's horrible that our minds are still doing this. Tracy's probably very upset because I did put up on Facebook that if any of my friends wish to do a guarantor letter, that we would love to have that because we're after one particular place and they want a guarantor letter simply because we're freelancers. We have the money for rent. That's what it is. And Martin agrees with me, so there you go. I got a thumbs up, which means he'll be blocking her as well. We have the money for rent. It's just we're freelancers. So in this day and age, they're a little worried. With COVID, they're worried. We could get 20 jobs tomorrow. It won't make a difference. We can go back up to the income we had in BC at our peak, which is about $900 to $2,000 a week. That was the best. It ran for about 6 months. In 6 months, you have next to no work or no work, so you had to make it stretch. So even though we were making that much a week, it did stretch, but it winds up being like making about 500 a week. And that's still, it's tight, but it's realistic. And it's still good. So, she's obviously angry at the world, and I'm another perimenopausal or menopausal woman, and it's so easy to strike out. It's that whole, that saying, it's easier to be miserable than it is to change, therefore people don't change. When your body says you're changing and you're insisting on staying the same, but you have all these new feelings because your body's changing, well, it doesn't do you any good to strike out. Your body's going to change no matter what. Those are the times that we should help each other to use beer guns. 175 is a six-pack. That's pretty fair. That's really fair. That's nice. I've heard that landlords are skeptical about the self-employed. Yeah, they are. They are, and they don't care that we lived in the same place for 16 years in BC. Our landlord back in British Columbia moved home to Japan, I think. He's either Japanese or Korean. To tell you the truth, I don't remember. I think it's Japan. But he moved back home, so we don't have a previous landlord reference. So they're not going to take our word for it. So yeah, we need a guarantor. So a friend has decided that she's upset about things. So she's no longer a friend. She may get a hold of us somewhere else on another platform and either apologize or go into another rant. She's in the same age bracket, so that means she's either perimenopausal or menopausal, and she's obviously not handling it very well. Shouldn't be. Small biz isn't really any less stable than job these days. It's true. But we have to keep in mind they have to keep their interests at heart, and it is their buildings. And like this one, they're either going to take care of it or they're not. And this guy has decided not to. So we're going to have to starve for the next few months. We're after a minimum $40 sponsorship in order to be able to give incentives to people. We have a new webpage starting up soon. The government-funded program that we got into is going to encourage us to do a Square store instead of Shopify, and they're going to give us a web designer that's closer to our age bracket. And already she's been over informative and wonderful and just great to work with in comparison to the 20-something male that has been putting things off and not telling us the criteria for the photos and the videos, and it has been playing games with us for the past few months. So hopefully we'll get this page up and we will have an online store, and we will be moving into the future like we're supposed to, and continue to make money off our art. Now, Tracy's other problem is too that she was trying to start a business, and from the looks of her page, because I checked the last time she made a stupid remark, I looked at her page and it looks like the business is gone. So she's failed in her company and going through probably a lot of the same anxieties I've been going through for the past, 8 to 10 years. That's a hard pattern to get out of. When you accept it as you're helpless because it's your body, you can't have a relationship with anyone. You can't even have friends. The only friends you can tolerate are the ones that say yes, ma'am, to everything. And I hate yes men. I hate yes men with a passion, because there's no challenge to that. There's no discussion. There's no growing. There's no developing. There's no moving ahead. I can't deal with it. The lovely cabinet behind you, is that the one that Jay helped with? Yes, it is amber, and the lock is still technically broken, but we've put a footstool and a box with a little weight in front of it to keep it closed so the cats can't get in until we can afford someone to come and put a lock in it or replace the lock. As Jay pointed out, the lock is not as old as the cabinet. And Jay's the first person to actually take a look at the inside of the wood and tell us that he thinks it goes back to the 1500s, which would be absolutely awesome. I know in 1997, the appraiser that appraised it at 10,000 US as its value, but it's gone through a number of moves, and I don't know what it would be worth, but it's a beautiful piece of furniture, and I intend on keeping it. I will live in it if I have to. See, and that's my relationship with old furniture. If I could afford to, every piece of furniture would be from that time period and would be that old and would be, it would have a story when you touch it. You could just close your eyes and imagine where it came from and feel it. And that for me is a huge deal. You know, 90% of small biz fail in 10 years, yes, but 90% of employees won't have the same job in 10 years either. Exactly. But again, they have to decide what relationship they're going to have with you. And as a landlord, if they really want to make sure that the people in their building are going to treat their building with respect, and we are applying for the one building in this management companies. They're trying to talk us into the 11th floor of a more modern building. Um, no one wants those places. They were, set up in the 70s. They're really weird layouts. We can't get the armoire up the elevator. All these things, and we're after the building that everyone else wants, which is very minimal units, right in the downtown core, a damn good price for the size. It's not huge, but considering downtown Toronto, it's really good for the price, and everyone wants it. So if I don't jump through the hoops to show them I am serious about this historical building, um, yeah, they don't want to rent. So I convince a friend and, develop a relationship on another level with someone who is willing to trust that we have the money in the bank and we're not going to spend it. And we get it. But we have to move on it before someone who with a better credit score comes along. And, excuse me, I'm going to try to tilt this down a little bit. Before someone with a better score comes along and snatches it out from under us. And the only reason we have a crappy credit score, and Tracy was part of the festival too, which is why I'm kind of surprised too, is because we lost the festival. So I'm not even 100% sure that's her. Because it was yesterday, the same stupid remark. Yeah, that's what Jay's guessing. He says from the looks of the wood on the inside. Yeah, yeah. We've had really pitiful offers for it though. Anything I can help you with? Oh, Amber, honey. There's tons people can help us with. It's really hard for me after being in this industry since I was 8 to have to be able to say to everyone, somehow we're back to one. And neither Martin or I we're having a hard time with having a relationship with ourselves to be able to feel good about being back to one. And that's also a common thing in this age bracket. You just get angry and pissed off and uncontrolled, and everyone says they'll help you out and no one actually does. And I get that everyone wants to be paid. I get the times are hard, but seriously, it's those of us who go back to one and battle for minimum wage to do a $1,000 job. Yeah, we're the ones who are going to make it through this, and at the other end, we're going to get the $1,000 job. We have to rebuild portfolios from scratch that look and sound and feel like the here and now. We have to grow. And you kind of get to this age, and most of us just reach that point, and we get so exhausted because all these crappy things happen because our bodies and our minds are changing. And we don't handle it. We let all those emotions get in the way, and we don't have time to let these emotions get in the way. We don't have time. Yes, expressing is good. Yes, if you want to cry, cry. But man, when it shuts you down instead of releasing you up, That's it. You're done. You're done. Must have come from the old country. Well, that's what he figures is it probably came across on a boat in pieces and then assembled here. Um, but those are grapevines all over the front of it, and we're not sure about the birds. We want to do some more research, but they look either German or French when you think about it. So we think it was probably part of a vineyard of some sort. Um, the immediate life that we know, it started in Texas. A friend, the wife of a friend, therefore our friend, because both of them are our friends. They've recently divorced, unfortunately, but that's okay. They're still both our friends. She got it because another friend of hers in the military owed her $1,000. So this friend was a foolish drinker and a gambler. So she said, listen, and this was back in 1995. She said, listen, I will hold on to this armoire until you pay me back. I'll take the armoire as collateral. Well, the friend didn't succeed much past 2 years and never paid her back. So when the friend disappeared, I she wound up with his armoire. So that's when she got it appraised. And I've got the appraisal paper stuck to the back of it. And they appraised it. The appraiser down there in Texas appraised it at 10,000 US. This was 97. Then the two of them moved up to Washington State, which is where I met them. And then when they decided to move back to Texas, um, he's now living in Alabama, Mobile, Alabama, and she's still down in Texas. But when they moved back to Texas, they didn't want to bring it with them. So she let me do installment payments over 2 years. And he drove it up over the border in a trailer, which I still find amazing. And it's been ours ever since. And it took 2 years to pay it off, and it was a little bit per month. So it was very exciting to be able to own it. Shane's back. Hi, Colleen. So I'm willing to help with any layout or design items you have, no charge. Well, what I want to do, Amber, once I talk to this new representative they've given me for this company, um, I don't want carhunger.com to immediately forward to the store because a lot of stuff we do isn't going to work on the store. Um, so what we want to do is rescue our carhunger.com page and have the top button be to the store. I'll still give people the direct link if all they want to do is spend money. Especially the sponsors here, because once I get a minimum $40 per month, I'm going to be saying to sponsors, you guys get special rates. So I want them to have access to the store first. So yeah, I'll still send the direct link out, but I want a real web page where the portfolio is, where all that stuff is. So the portfolio is not on the store. The store will have links to it, but I don't want the store to have all that stuff because it's only going to fill it up. I want the store to be a store and the web page to be a web page, and that's that. Um, I think it'll also be easier for me to manage. It means I got to check in on the web page, but I keep looking at all these free choices for web designs, and it's so beyond me. I would love for someone to sit down to me, be right next to me, and every once in a while pat me on the shoulder when I start to cry and tell me what they see. And that's another kind of relationship too. And people, I'm finding so many people, again, a lot in our age bracket and mostly women, we want to dominate each other because we're so insecure about ourselves. We can't, we can't seem to comprehend how we got through life being so-called gullible. And it's just like, it's crazy. It's really crazy. It's going to get to a point here where a lot of people are going to get on HAPS, especially once Periscope shuts down, that are trolls. And I know I'm going to be cascaded on. Where's Martin? You got rid of him. Here's the stereotypes. Blah, 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 blah. I want to be strong enough to handle that again. I'm pretty strong right now. I have worked my way back up. But there's still these little parts from that whole hormonal thing before the surgery that still pop pops up every once in a while and go, "You've been this way for this many years. Do this. Get emotional. Everyone will bow to your will." Whoa, I'm putting stress on my heart. I'm frying my brain. I'm not listening. I'm not hearing. Two different things, folks. I'm not speaking. And I'm becoming the stereotype when I fought so hard for most of my life not to be the stereotype. Uh, Not acceptable. I, when I was younger, and I'm more than happy to tell you people this, because it's something that I had to come to terms with, and I'm trying to come to terms with it again. When I was younger, I tried to take my life numerous times. There are people from that time in my life who keep calling me a liar and telling me I'm only trying to get attention. And I lived under that belief system from about my mid-teens all the way into my 30s that it was all make-believe. And when those hormones hit, just trying to pretend it was make-believe. And even understanding that other people said and do what they do in order to protect me. Um, it did such a number on me when those hormones hit. I I just couldn't function. The change slowly started before the perimenopause even started. And then when the perimenopause hit, I was done. I'm kind of surprised I got the festival to the size it did. I'm really surprised that I'm alive today and this brain is still trying to function. But I still get pissed off at the world so easily. Don't take it personally. Let me get pissed off. It'll be over in a moment. And that's really, we've got to stop being angry, folks. You know, Amber, you're my person. Oh, sweetheart, thank you. We've got to talk. Water off a duck's back. In many ways, yes, but we must register the fact that that water still does leave droplets behind. And until that duck decides to register the droplets, straighten itself off, and ruffle its feathers, those droplets are going to stay there. And you know what the worst thing about being an artist is? I want to keep those droplets there because I want to build a character around it. My most naive thing is I actually think the people who put the droplets there won't get offended when I build a character around them. And then they do. And then the hell begins. Just ignore those trolls. Oh no, I love playing with trolls. I love playing with trolls because I ignored the bullies when I was younger and it didn't do me any good. You're right, they don't know me. They know the public image I put out there. And that's all they see. In order to feel secure, they need to see what they need to see. And part of the problem with being honest in public is the fact that you have to have a public image. So your honesty still has to take a particular form. And that's really hard to let people in, but not let them in. So when a troll says you're ugly, I'll say to you, yes. They hate being agreed with a passion. And then my lovely relationship with them starts. And they go away. And they end the relationship. And I don't mind because shortly after I grab my journal, I flip to a page, I take my pen, and I write. This troll had this pattern. I responded like this, they responded like that. They use this word, which usually means, oh, look, I can write a new script tomorrow. Ah, I actually have my characters. They say never piss off a writer. They have the best form of revenge. People make critiques off of first impressions, but they don't even know you. A lot of people who know me have trolled me. I've given up some really long-time friends not that long ago. I trusted a friend who's known me since the beginning of high school, in other words, the early 80s. And I came back and her life has changed so much and my life has changed so much that even though we still saw the same person inside, her issues wouldn't get out of the way. She needed to be a moderator, and in the long run, she wound up being a troll because she cared about me, and my format didn't suit her. Well, that's fine for her broadcasts. But what she was doing was very different. And then she kept giving up. When I found out that she just kept giving up on her own broadcasts, I said to her, I said, maybe you're not a good mod. Before I know it, we're no longer friends. And again, same type of struggle with the hormone and identity changes and in a relationship with another person for a long period of time. You were meant to be here. Thank you, Shane. If they did, they would be much more respectful. That's true. But what I feel that I need to get across for my own satisfaction is my idea of respect seems to be different than most people's ideas of respect. I find immense respect doing with trolls what I couldn't do with the bullies. I mean, geez. My hair was past my butt, and some bully on transit cut my hair by taking my pigtails and very gently cutting them. I didn't even know the hair was gone until I got up. No. No, no, no. My courage, my heart, my love comes from knowing that at least 1 out of 20 trolls that I troll back will stop trolling. Some of them now are actually good friends. I've had good friends become trolls and trolls become good friends. I'm still kind of confused about that, but I'm not going to question it. If that's the way the universe wants it, then that's what we're going to do. When you build the character, it might be your way of shaking them off. Exactly, Amber. 2 months, I'm finally getting help. Cool. Cool. Yeah, but keep in mind, the hardest thing about getting help, at least for me, was the help they were giving me didn't fit my artistic lifestyle. And I found it actually very judgmental in the long run. And I've gone through so many counselors. I'm seeing a new one next Friday. We'll see if she's the right one. Don't know? Interesting. Thank you. Wow. Thank you, Shane. They do mean things to feel bigger. That's right. I pity trolls. I feel sad for them. I do as well, but I got to a point where I can't find the time and energy to make groups or um, to give the support on the level that I deep down inside I want to, because when I tried that, I burned out so badly I lost my own life, so to speak. So now it's this kind of thing. I want people to see that they are human beings and we are human beings. And if you're careful enough, you can hurt them enough, just like they're hurting you, and safely from the other side of the keyboard. A lot of them do stop. And yeah, it's a risk. But when I was a kid, I never took those risks. Now that I'm in my 50s and my eggs are gone and my body's trying to kill me anyway, I'm not so scared of taking those risks anymore. This whole menopause thing is either going to kill me or give me new life. I don't know yet. And people are like, oh, don't say that. I love you. I want you to stay. I did that too. And I wound up being someone that I really didn't recognize, and it was horrible. I couldn't act. I couldn't write. I couldn't function. I had roommates with this personality when I lived in Vancouver, and they knew because I was from Texas that they could bully me in fear if I could be kicked out of Canada. Well, yeah, exactly, Shane. And people will tell you you're lying. You're not lying. They could just actually just be insecure, or their life isn't going well, or there's 1,001 reasons people bully. And unfortunately, people who are mostly picked on bullies as a child become a bully. And there's a small period of time, I confess, I was a bully. When I didn't know what was happening with my head and my heart and my body and my mind, and I didn't have access to all the things I normally have access to, I freaked. Every single thing was an attack, and I mean everything. I didn't realize I was bullying. I was attacking back. No, looking at it now, many years later, that was a small pocket of about 5 years of bullying. Can't go back and change it. If I ever bump into those people again, or they get a hold of me and they say, you really hurt me, and I say, how? And they said like this, and I say, well, I still can't give you what you're after. It was really nice seeing you again. I apologize as well. Let's part friends. Or, yeah, you know what? The new you and the new me, I think we can try again. Let's do it. Those are the people I want in my life. The people who understand we all go through stages. At some point, we are all bullying. At some point, we are all breaking down. At some point, we go through every single... The goal of a human existence is to experience. Those of us who've experienced and then move forward. I experience and move forward. We're going to have the best relationship with ourselves when we die. It'll be beautiful. I have to go. Have a good evening. You too, Shane. Love you, honey. Miss you. Miss you and the kitties. I deal with trolls by asking, how can I help? Oh, Shane, are you still there? Shane, are you still there? I want to pull a mastery card for you. I keep asking until there's a positive response. I don't ever change anything for them. I just listen. I think that is sometimes a cry for help. Nobody wants to hear. This is true, Amber. The hardest thing for me was to realize that there are a lot of people that just want to stay in their misery, and you gotta let them. I don't want to let them. God, trust me, I don't want to let them. It just kills me. Okay, official. I'm your person, and you are so mine. Amber, is that an offer or a threat? Should we tell our husbands? Might excite them. So those of you watching that are not on HAPS, please by all means join HAPS, because HAPS right now, still being a beta app, is giving you regular coins for checking in, and you can use those coins to tip or award your favorite broadcasters. She says with a smile. My goal also is in sponsorships. Martin and I have decided that once we reach a $40 a month sponsorship, we are completely giving up our Patreon. And we are putting everything on here. And anyone who is a sponsor will get things like discounts and quotes and special stuff, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Leave them to fend for themselves. Well, sometimes you have to. Like, you don't want to. There's very special people in my life that I had to leave behind in BC, and they are so upset at the world. And even after I came back here, we found a number of people back here that won't talk to us because we didn't personally tell them we were going, and they've been carrying around these grudges this whole time. And I want to do something for them so bad. I want the relationship I had with them to be what we have now, to have come back to these beautiful relationships. And I've got to face the fact that they went through similar changes to me, and it's not going to happen. They let it build up, and they're in a space that I can't reach them because I am a symbol of what caused that space. So I've got to be able to be okay with that. And you know, that need to help everyone part of me that every mother has. I may not have children, but I may not have children, but it doesn't mean I don't, you know, I don't, I haven't had that whole parent instinct thing going. It's horrible, you know. You just want to leave behind a legacy, and your brain says the best legacy is helping someone. It's not. It's not. And it's hard. I mean, Martin and I just blocked someone that we've been trusting and believing in, and she's probably going through a lot of crap, and I want to help her, but the amount of time it would take for us to to try to help is just too much. I mean, our fan page is public. For all I know, she just hasn't clicked in yet. That because she's following our fan page, that she can still have an attitude. I'll wait till she does something. I'll block her there. It's okay. I don't want to give her up. She's an incredible woman, and she's got all this handicap stuff that she's doing because she's got a spinal injury, and she's probably on painkiller meds that make her not care about a lot. There's 1,000 reasons why she could suddenly be doing this. But if she's not going to have a relationship with herself or me, it's hard. It's very hard for me to let it go. And it does affect me. But it's life. Life is supposed to affect you. Like I see here, okay? I've only got 135 views. The Apps Challenge says I need 250 views. Oh, by the way, anyone on here that's watching, please share. Please share. But it's what it is, I would get more views if Martin and I were building tonight. And it's because it's a whole different energy. People don't want to, on average, get serious. I very rarely get awards, tips, super hearts, anything when I do these kinds of broadcasts. And I'm always opening myself up for criticism. There's a few people on here that, they tell me to do things, and I say, in all honesty, I don't have that time right now. I'll get to it if I can. And they're going, wow, really? How are you ignoring me? And how dare you? Because I find a majority of the population is so overwhelmingly insecure that you must do everything or they will critique you. Oh. Oh. So Amber, I assume you're still here. Everyone else who's still here, chime in. Chime in. Go ahead and share and go ahead and chime in. Because one of the things I like doing while I'm in this space, as opposed to a building space, because right now I'm in this lovely little my thought space, is I love doing self-mastery cards. These are not like tarot. They're very different than tarot, and they encompass an attitude that I still am working very hard to have as part of my life 24/7, and that's being a master of oneself. And I love it when people, when I say, here, let me pull one for you, and they get exactly what they were expecting or hoping for, and it's always such a joy. Always such a joy. You see, now I'm hungry. I know I've eaten enough, but there's that false appetite. There's that false appetite. So chime in, folks. You see one comment, and that's usually all it takes. One negative comment. And then before you know it, one of these flipped around. I can't find it now. All right, I will probably find it when I spread it out. I've been fighting bone cancer since 2009, sick and tired of all the time and taking things out on other people. Never should have been excused. No, and that's very true, because when you're struggling through something, no matter who you are, there's one key point in there. When you're someone who cares so much for other people, you're sensitive, or you're an empath, or you're just one of those zodiac signs, whatever it is, you suddenly have to think of yourself. And for me, it felt so greedy. I felt so egotistical and self-centered. And it was just so difficult to comprehend how I could think of myself first and not feel like I'm screwing over the universe, Amber, would you like a card? Oh wow, it's jumping around. Me too. Yeah. Yeah, and it is more common in women than men. Well, the men seem to play that card. They play it aggressively. I think it's mostly because they don't understand that, nor they're not taking the time to understand that as they get older, they get a little effeminate. And it's okay. It's perfectly. You cool. Yes, please. Okay. So just relax. Let's see what the cards have to say. Now, I love these because it's not complicated like tarot. They are so straightforward and simple. All right. This is how I do it when I have the time, and right now I have the time. We're going to give you some control here. Pile 1 or pile 2? 1 and 2. Pile 1 or pile 2, Amber? 2, okay. Put pile 1 to the side. And we do that one more time. Pile 1, pile 2. 2, okay. So we get smaller and multiples. Okay. One, two, three, 4. Yeah, it's okay, I'm patient. There's always a delay, the joy of the internet. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Okay. Spread these out. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5. All right. I have in front of me understanding. I look deeper than the surface. As a master, I seek the meaning that is hidden below. I look behind the words and between the lines to find the true meaning of my own world. Which, when you think about it, is what we're trying to accomplish by talking out in public like this. Understanding. There you go, darling. I love these. They are very simple, very positive. Awesome. Thank you. You're so welcome, Amber. You are so welcome. And really, we've got to breathe, folks. You can't even have a relationship with yourself unless you breathe. Oh, I'm starting to get hungry again. I really can't tell if it's false appetite or real. I am considering. I don't think I'm going to make it to the 250, unfortunately, on this one. Which is fine. I noticed a lot of people were on, so when the competition happens, middle of the week competition happens, it's kind of hard sometimes. And like I said, it takes a particular type of person to want to have these conversations with me. And I'm really happy we didn't attract a lot of trolls today. Ah, Red Eye! Oh, wow. Red Eye is apparently writing a novel. I've had to step away from some toxic and needing people this year. It's hard when you're not a person who can just walk away from others, regardless of the unpleasant stimuli associated with them. It's draining to deal with those that demand that the world revolve around them. When some folks apologize for being busy with demands of their world and for being inattentive or a bad friend, I sarcastically say, "What? You have a life? How dare you?" Yeah, those are the precious people. The people who are honest and straightforward. But they gotta kind of be honest with themselves first. And if you're busy trying to live up to everyone's expectations and images and trying to be part of the majority, well, you either are naturally that person that fits into that majority or you're not. Deal with it. Sometimes the best minorities make up the majority. I just yelled at Jay to sign in, LOL. Yeah, Jay, get your butt on the haps. I want some of your coins. I want your coins. And Amber, you start doing some hap broadcasts, I'll give you some of my coins too, honey. It'll take a while to get to the 200, but come on. Let's get some coinage in your pockets. Let's get, my attitude too is even if I don't make it to the 200 to be able to cash in, the key thing here is the fact that you guys did something. You guys put some coinage in the pockets, and you basically are, a percentage of that goes to HAPS, and it's going to keep the app alive. That's special to me in itself. If you're not honest with yourself, you can't be honest with anyone else. This is very true, Red Eye. It's just really hard. At the beginning of the broadcast, we were talking about the whole, it's harder to change. No matter how miserable you are, it's easier to stay the same. So most people stay the same. Need to talk to you about that. Oh, what? The coins and everything? Sure. Relationship with an app. It counts. Hey, Red Eye. Honey. Do you want a mastery card? I'm in these, when I do Don't Poke the Lion, I'm in a very different space than I am when Martin and I are on here building, and it's a very different space. Happy. I mean, Hapsters. I think it's great. Haps, yeah. Well, the update just came out the other day, so all of our devices have been updated to the app. Hey, Jay. Sure, what the heck, deal 'em. All right, ready? Everyone be patient while I go through this with Red Eye. Red Eye. Pick pile 1 or pile 2? This is 1. This is 2. I love doing this for you guys. It always makes me happy. 1. Okay. Okay, let's do it one more time. 1 or 2. And then we start breaking them down more. And 2. Your left is closer to your heart. Ah, I swear, Red Eye, you are such a softie. All right. So this is where we break it down even more. Oh. So apparently we want to do 3 this time. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I just looked down. Is that 1 pertaining to these 3? 1, 2, 3. Trying to tell if that one is pertaining to the last one or this one. I'll be boring and predictable one. You? Boring? Never. Well, now you gotta have a little bit more effort here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're not boring. I don't care how predictable you are. You're not boring. You have never been boring, Red Eye. Now watch, he's gonna say one again. Surprise me! 3. Oh, right. The magic number 3. All right. Red Eye, acceptance. As a master, I recognize that I must let everyone be who they are with total acceptance. I am comfortable within myself no matter what. Ta-da! As the camera tries to focus. There you go, darling. So everyone, if you can share out, actually, I wouldn't mind seeing if we can actually make it to 250. I just said actually twice. That must actually be boring. Oh, no! Hi, Jay. I bored a .422 hole today. Totally boring at .0001 tolerance. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Did you succeed? At first, when I saw the first 2 words, thank God I read the whole thing. Because when I saw the first 2 words, I thought, he's bored? Well, that's not nice. Red Eye, come on. I bore you? Jay, how you doing, honey? Amber now got to see the cabinet, the armoire. So everyone make sure that you do your HAPS challenges, the whole check-in every day, etc., etc., etc. Invite people. That also counts the extra coins as well. I can't remember how many people you have to invite. But yeah, keep the positive going, folks. Always hydraulic pump parts got to be accurate. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Trying to get his chat working. It's not working? Well, I see him, so let's, is he in the right spot? Here, let's do this. So, Jay, do you see that? And if anyone wants to come on camera, do let me know. That is also a fun thing to do. Oh, Martin apparently sent me a text message and I ignored him. Oh, I'm not going to tell you what he said because it's between him and I, and this is not that kind of podcast. Honey, 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 honey. Yeah. Nobody wants an unemployed chat. Tell that chat to get a job so it'll be working. Well, it's a matter of, where the reply is. I think it's actually over to the side. Oh, I see. Peter was just live. Ah, that would explain where everyone is. Oh, chat works on chat works on here. So, are you using a phone? Are you using a computer? Are you using a tablet? Because the chat is right down there on the phone, right at the bottom. On the tablet, because my tablet is preoccupied with running my mic, um, I think it's off to the side if I remember correctly. If I remember correctly. Are you interested in things like rune stones? I used to read runes many, many, many years ago, but they haven't talked to me in a while, so I simplified my life. I used to also read some tarot. There was a time when nothing would talk to me, and then I started doing a lot of self-exploration, and this was many years ago. But the past few years, because of what's been happening, I find the master cards are straightforward and simple and basically what I can handle now. My runes are made by hand. Martin and I made our own runes, and we made them out of antler, a deer antler. We fixed it. Android tablet. Okay, you fixed it? I think the tablet, the comment is off to the side. If you're watching me wide. Oh, on the iPad, it puts it over top of the image. So, I'm not sure about the tablet. Does the Super Clap award come with penicillin? Amber, if you have a set of runestones that aren't happy, I would gladly give them a home. I don't know how long they'll stay, um, but I'll gladly make sure they have a home at some point. Sure. What are they made out of, honey? Out of curiosity. You make them? Oh, Amber. What do you make them out of? What do you make them out of? I've been wanting to put ivory in the laser cutter to see what happens. So I'm looking for people that have old piano keys or pieces of ivory because you really, it's too expensive to try to get it now because ivory is technically illegal. But if anyone's got like old piano keys and stuff, uh, let Martin and I know. We'd love to be playing with some ivory on the cutter. Does the super clipper work? Okay, this is caught up on the computer. Oh, it's bouncing up and down on the computer. Some are polymer clay, others resin. Oh, honey, thank you then. I'll promote, if you've got them up on a store, I'll promote them. But both polymer clay and resin don't resonate with me. I know that kind of sounds funny, but they don't resonate with me. Um, I'm very much, when it comes to that kind of stuff, natural. Um, you know, if it was amber, amber, if they were made out of amber, that'd be kind of cool. Oh my God, you could do a, you could do a store, and that would be the featured product. Things out of amber by Amber. Oh my God, I wanna do it now. Yeah. Yes, that's why we put our large fan going, and so does ABS, and we use ABS a lot. So, yeah. Oh, you wouldn't believe the smell when we cut the antlers into making our runestones. Oh my God, it reeked. But we managed to just get a couple antlers, and we were able to make just enough set for both Martin and I. And yeah, whew. Piano keys usually just have a thin veneer of ivory on wood. No, they don't. The older piano keys are ivory through and through. I know, because that's the piano I left behind. Well, the keys themselves are wood, if that's what you're talking about. But I only need a thin layer of ivory to burn it. I'm sorry, that's kind of evil. I was going to learn how to what's it called, scything, and do it by hand. But I don't have the confidence, and that's burning into ivory. But I don't have the confidence to do it by hand. Um, in that way, I'm very much a machine person, and ivory is difficult. So until I have other things to practice on that are not as, you know, precious, I'd rather trust the cutter. I can do wood as well. Wow. Scrimshaw! See, and that's the other problem with menopause and perimenopause. Your brain has got to say over and over again, there are things that you will forget. Your brain is full and doesn't want to function. Do not be embarrassed to ask for help. Carob nuts? Carob nuts? Carob, like the whole chocolate substitute thing. That's just going to make me hungry. That's mean. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. Everyone, please share to your profiles, share to your friends, share all over the place. I'm only going to be on a little tiny bit more because I am starving. I am starving. I am so hungry. And the worst thing about it is I don't know if it's real. Bet they smell better than the laser tube. Well, this is it. It's going to make me hungry. Well, see, I've logged in 54 days in a row and they're giving me more coins. Claim my coins. Close. I gave away a whole bunch of coins recently, so I'm gonna circle back and give away more. Ooh, I see new people. Nice. Nice. I see more people joining HAPS. Woohoo! Thank you so much for those of you who have come over to HAPS. Well, I'm so immune to smells at this point. I am just so numb to them, really. It's pretty scary. That the amount of fumes that we've breathed in all these years doing all this stuff, it's like I'm one of these people, it could have a lot to do with, how old I am too. I'm one of these people that when we drive into a gas station, it's like, gasoline. I know it's sick. But that's one thing that has not gone away. How can you tell how many coins you have? How long do you usually broadcast for? Nose blind. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Um, it depends on the subject matter and it depends on how many people I get. It depends on the whole coins thing. So when you look at your profile, of course, as an Apple, I'm assuming it's very similar on, a PC or an Android or whatever. But up in this corner here, you'll see a little yellow circled bar with yellow lettering in it. And if you want to get extra coins, you go to your profile and you go to the little gear that's next to edit profile and you'll see settings and sign out, don't sign out, settings. And I did this wrong again. All right, you hit the pop down. No, damn, hold on. I did this right the other day and now I don't remember. Shoot. Oh, yeah. No. You go to your main profile. Broadcast, thank you. But yeah, it depends on what the subject is. Usually I'll go until I get some coins or 250, which is the minimum for the HAPS challenge, or until I'm so damn hungry I'm chewing off my arm. If you go to your profile, you'll see your posts, and you'll see next to that coins and rewards. And it will tell you how many coins you have right at the top. And then it'll say, like, the 2021 Broadcaster Streak Challenge. 3 weeks in a row, I have to do 3 out of 8 and get 250 broadcasts for longer than 10 minutes, multi-streamed to at least one social destination, which I've done, and received 250 plus live views, including external views. But yeah, I've got Invite Master. I've referred 44 friends by using my profile link. And that's what you do. There's a profile invite link thing that's on your main profile. Copy and paste that to people. In the loop, 256 users subscribed, apparently. 256 users subscribed to mine. So to get notified for when I go, philanthropists sponsor a broadcaster. I didn't see this one before. It's 1,000 coins. So those of you who are sponsoring me or haven't yet, go ahead and sponsor, because you'll get 1,000 coins, because they will call you a philanthropist. Community cultivator, comment on 100 or more posts. I apparently did that. Social butterfly, connect 3 or more social accounts. I did that. The nothing to hide, complete your full profile. Apparently I did that. Community guidelines, thoroughly read the HAPS community guidelines and click the box at the bottom of the, oh, I apparently have not done that yet. Email wizard, at least 2 emails opened. I did that. Login streak, 54 days in a row. Next target, log in tomorrow to get 50 more. Oh, I was supposed to open next week's email and I didn't. I would have gotten more. Weekly broadcast streak, 8 weeks in a row. Go live next week and get 500 more coins. So when you do all these, little challenges that they give you coins for it. They give you coins. So if you play your cards right and you let them build up over time, then you'll have more coins than you know what to do with. Don't worry, we'll help. Android here. I think I need to leave the chat to check. Well, it's only because I have another device. So yes, you would have to leave my broadcast to check. But, put it on a sticky note and put it on. I do that sometimes. I'll take a sticky note and I'll put it right on the screen. I'll put it right on the screen. Check this after you're off. People are like, well, why don't you just text in this spot or put it in this spot? Because I have to remember to go looking for it. If it's on a sticky note right on my screen or on the back of the phone, I've done that before, over the camera. That way, if I forget it's there, then, then I can't take a picture. Wow. Under the rules against suicide or talk of suicide, they actually put a phone number for the suicide hotline. Go HAPS! Only have the HAPS app on the tablet. Yeah, well, when I get off, pop on over and see what you can do to get more coins. You can only use coins for awards. You can't, from what I understand, you can't use it for sponsorships. Sponsorships are a separate thing. Porn nudity. Well, we're not that kind of broadcast, so we don't have to worry about that, HAPS. Graphic images. Does this count? I don't know. What's graphic nowadays? Everyone's either screaming at each other about being too sensitive or not sensitive enough. Additional standards and practices for journalists. There's a whole other section in their rules for journalists. Okay. This is good. Yeah, it said that I scrolled through too fast, that I obviously didn't read it, so it wouldn't let me do that. So now I'm actually starting to. I have read it, but it was before because I see that I don't have that particular one. Sigh. So, how's everyone else's relationships going with themselves, with their friends, their families, with their siblings? That one I kind of fail on. Do nude broadcasts, people would pay me to put my clothes back on. Well, and you'd be against the HAPS rules. First, they'd squeal on you, then they wouldn't have to pay you. Come on. It's still social media. You know how this works. They have separate guidelines for journalists. Interesting. Well, I see that I'm not going to make it to 250, and I see the people who normally come on camera, which is the best way to let everyone know you're there, are both busy on other people's broadcasts. Drat. Ooh, Society of Professional Journalists Code of Ethics. Nice. Okay, there, I just claimed my 100 coins now. Claimed. So I just knocked another one off the list. Ta-da! I gotta find someone to sponsor. I gotta find someone to sponsor so I can get those. That would be nice. Yeah, I usually work my coins up to about 3,000, and then I start spreading them, to 2 or 3 broadcasters that I really, really like. With myself, it sucks. Everyone else, great. Oh, come now. Hey Jay, are you gonna try coming over to Haps again? Let's see if we can get you commenting. Amber, if you come on over as well. That won't bring me to 250, but it'll help. But yeah, folks, the appetite is definitely kicking in. And I want to see if Martin's done what he had to do. See whether or not he's eating dinner without me, or whether or not he's heading back, or whether or not he's eating here. I don't know. He's gone off to do a very personal thing, and I don't want to interfere with it, but I also told him I'd let him know when I'm off air, and I'd find out where he is and what he's doing. How do you join the video chat? Well, you want to do a 5-minute test? You're on, yeah, you're on Haps. Do you want to try? Red eye, night. I'll do it just for a little bit. What I do is I type you out, I type your ID out, and now I've invited you. So what you're going to do, oops, I changed camera accidentally. There we go. What you're going to do is you are going to get out of my broadcast now, and you are going to go down to the little button that says notifications, and you will see it says that I have invited you to join. And then what that does is it puts it on your profile, or sorry, activity, and puts it on your profile as well as mine. So all you have to do is go down to that little bell, and yeah, it will. You click on the fact that I invited you, and you go through the process. If you've connected your profile to other social medias, it will instantly show you that as you go along. And you click on the title of this broadcast, and you join in. Once you've done that, I will see your picture pop up, and then I click on you, and I add you. Sure. Yay! It becomes a bit of a waiting game. Do. I haven't seen his face in ages. So hopefully Red Eye has gone out. Found the appropriate little bell at the bottom of the screen. I'm assuming it's the same on the what is it he said he had? A tablet. No, no, no. I think I'm sitting down too long. I need more exercise. That's the advantage that high activity broadcasters have. I'm checking my little thing that picks up the signal of the mic. Oh shoot, Martin says he forgot his keys. I guess. Buzz. I should go get the door phone thing. I'm assuming you guys can still hear. I can't see if Red Eye has finally joined. But I'm coming back. I just wanted to get the phone for the front door. Apparently, while I was gone, there's 9 missed calls. I'm assuming they were all the front door. Yeah, Martin says he's almost home, so he's like, "Are you done?" I'm like, "No." He says, "Well, do you mind if I crash the party?" I'm like, "Sure." He said, "I forgot my keys." I'm like, "Great." Yeah, when you head out together a lot, it tends to get pretty crazy. Red Eye, honey? Did you figure it out? Now, when you see someone with the active sponsor badge, that means they are sponsoring. Got it. Yay.
Hey, did I make it?
Now, Red Eye, your video is not working. Oh, 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 oh. There we go. Oh,
There I am.
here you are. So my
There I'm
volume is
is.
your volume is a lot louder than mine, so I'm gonna bring. Hang on a second. Just letting Martin in because he forgot his keys. Here you are. Wow, you're really masked up. Where'd you go? No. Oh no. I brought his volume up and everything. Hmm. Red Eye? What happened? Welcome to the club, Jay. Red Eye? What happened? I mean, I know there's a bit of an echo. I've got to get like earbuds or something that the audio doesn't get picked up by the mic. You were there, Mo? Oh, there he is again. Okay, I'm going to.
Hey, am I here now?
You are. You are
Oh
definitely
my
here.
gosh. Hello.
How you doing, darling?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, well, we're alive
Calling from the
still.
coronavirus capital of Washington State.
Well, yeah, you're really masked up. That's
Well,
a
yeah.
wide mask.
Otherwise, you have to look. Otherwise, you'd have to look at my face.
Oh, I see. You're using the coronavirus to hide your face. Ah.
Well, yeah. It's a good excuse as any, right?
Sure, why not? Like, take advantage of the darn thing. It's taking advantage of us.
Well, yeah. It's
So, are
not
you at
pulling any
home?
punches out here. Oh
Sorry?
yeah. I'm in my kitchen. I'm in my kitchen. See my Jello mold?
Oh yeah, I can see now.
Yeah.
Nice. Amber was asking you to come
Yeah.
back.
Well, sorry. Yeah, I thought was when I first got in, was my audio too hot?
It was too quiet, and mine was too loud.
Okay. Well,
So I brought
I
yours
took the
up.
cover. I have a OtterBox cover on my tablet, and it muffles the microphone. Something terrible. And when I went to peel it off, I hit the home button on the screen, and so it dropped me.
Oops.
Yeah.
So Amber is saying hi to you, Red Eye. Amber is a friend of mine
Hello.
here in Ontario, and Red Eye is a friend of mine down in Washington State.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. We have quite a few friends in common as well.
yes, we do. I'm missing all of you guys. You know, when I first went out west from Toronto, I was missing a lot of people back here, and I didn't realize that some people were really upset that Martin and I had moved and didn't personally spend time with them before we went. But it got overwhelming and it happened so fast. And we came
Well,
back
you
and
have
we're
a life.
like,
How dare you?
I know, And when we came back, some of them aren't talking to us now. They won't. They're taking it all so personally, and I'm like, oh my God, I never realized how sensitive you people were.
You
You
know,
know,
uh,
there's a few
I
people
don't
in
feel
BC
like
that are
my
upset with
friend.
us.
Well, I
Sorry?
don't feel like my friendship with somebody should interfere with their pursuit of whatever they want to do, as far as life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. That's that whole American thing.
Well, this is, I think, one of the hardest things is, especially in British Columbia, is, that whole West Coast Canada thing, very passive aggressive. So they stay quiet and they're polite, and then they just blow up. And you don't know which ones are going to be like that until after they do. Um, Whereas Toronto, they just go completely quiet and they wait until you get a hold of them and then they mumble at you, and grumble at you. Like we just blocked, yeah, we just blocked a friend tonight from BC because, and she's been a really good friend, but yeah, yesterday she made a really snide remark on that broadcast, and today she made another one to give me a break and get a job. And it's like, this is uncalled for, and she's in the same age bracket, so I'm assuming hormonally she's going through some similar stuff, and it looks like she's in a wheelchair. When we left, she wasn't in a wheelchair. So I don't know what's happened between the last time we saw her, which was only a few months before we left, and now. But she's having a miserable life, and I'm an easy target now because I live in another province.
Well, that
It's
kind of sucks.
not good, not healthy.
Uh, like I said earlier, this year has put a lot of pressure on a lot of people from directions they're not used to,
Mm.
and all of a sudden we're finding ourselves being isolated. Um, I myself, uh, I'm kind of a recluse. You can tell by my haircut, right?
Right.
But
What
I,
haircut?
yeah, or what hair, but that's another story. But uh, a lot of people have just gotten really strange in their isolation. All of a sudden, they feel as though, and I'm just generalizing here. Um, a lot of people feel that with this crisis that everyone is dealing with, I mean, globally, um, that they are somehow owed more of your personal attention than you gave before.
Yeah.
And I stay in touch with people. Um, one of the reasons that I married, okay, I'm gonna get a little personal here. I married the wrong person, and all the signs were there. And the first sign was when I got married, there were about 150 people at the event. Two of them were there on her behalf. And all of these other people were people that I'd known, some of them since before school.
Wow.
You know, my friend Cameron is there. We've known each other since we were 3 years old. And we're still good friends. My ex had no old friends. And that's the kind of person that just isn't capable of forming a long-term relationship without constant maintenance.
Hmm.
And if you're not constantly maintaining your relationship, um, some people feel they need to step away because they feel neglected somehow, and that you're not supposed to have a life. Your purpose in life is to service their life somehow. And
Well, you gotta use your
I'm
own internal
painfully
strength.
aware of. Well,
Yeah.
I'm painfully aware of the whole isolation thing and the whole uh, feeling stuck into a little box.
Yeah.
I like to go out to the park and fly my kite and things like that, but I used to be a lot more social. Well, I've just learned to focus my energy elsewhere because I can't do the face to face stuff anymore. Until this whole thing is somehow dealt with. Here we'll. Oh, there are the safety glasses. Hey, check that out. Woo, that's the solar panel.
Martin and I are hoping to get enough finances together that we can take, like, obviously not this summer, unfortunately, but we're thinking the summer after, but take the whole summer off, like a month or two off, and just hit the road, just go down south and hit our friends, between Buffalo down to Maryland, and I doubt we'll make it down to Florida, but start heading west from there, and just bring tents and camp our way across the country, sleep in the back of the car, or whatever.
We can stalk Red while we're down there.
Yeah, we can stalk red while we're down
I've
there.
got
That's right.
I've got a
And
bunch of
and
family out in Buffalo I've never met.
really, we
Yep.
should solve that one day. But
Well,
yeah, and
you're
then
not
just
far from.
just just hit you guys, and then head up north and spend a couple days in BC, and then drive back across Canada. And it'll take a whole month at least. But man, it's the kind of thing I
Oh,
just
hey,
like. We've driven
one,
across country before, but with a purpose. I want to do it without a
yeah.
purpose. I just want to do it.
You know, I have done that twice on a motorcycle,
Nice.
and I've got to tell you, that is just the most fun. Um, to where you go until you're tired, and then you stop, and then you sit down with the book. And this is back before we had the internet, so you sat down with the book, and okay, we want to look at this, 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 and then the next day try to see as many of them as you have time for,
Right.
and stop when you get tired. Sometimes you camp on the side of the road, sometimes you get a room. But yeah, I've done that twice. Long motorcycle trips are just an absolute blast. Matter of
Yeah,
fact,
I'd like to
actually,
do
no,
that.
excuse me, three times.
Especially now that we
Three
have a
times.
hybrid,
Yeah, it'll be a lot cheaper.
and a lot cheaper. Um,
Yeah. Well, the hybrids are great in the city, but on the highway they don't do you that much good.
actually, this sucker needs the highway to charge.
Yeah, it actually does
Oh,
really well,
well,
especially when you
see.
get to like coasting down hills. It supercharges the battery. So,
Well, yeah, I'm familiar with my first engineering job was working with a company that was trying to develop an electric car.
oh yeah,
So yeah, I'm
Nice.
very familiar with the well.
But yeah, we've
This
been
was a case
taking
of
this sucker out for long drives to charge up the battery. To give
yeah,
it its full charge and get it going. Because this is one that the
yeah,
gasoline engine charges the battery as opposed to one that you plug in every night.
yeah.
So
That's a
it's
so
very
is the
convenient.
is the drive the drive itself is electric.
uh, actually. It's got two electric motors, but it's got the gasoline engine that does the charging. So the electric
Yeah,
motors,
but
I
so
think,
the
can
engine is
double
connected to a
as
generator.
generators. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's called a series or a series hybrid.
Okay.
That's where there's no mechanical connection between the engine and the drivetrain.
Okay. Cool.
And people think that's a new thing. People think that a series hybrid is some kind of new technology. I'm here to tell you, diesel locomotives have been doing it for a long time.
Yes, that's very true. So Red Eye, thank you so much. But,
So yeah,
but
that's
Martin's doing the whole he's hungry thing, and so
You're
am I.
hungry? Yeah.
Oh God, I'm starving.
oh
Enough for Chinese. I can throw some extra
oh,
Chinese.
so he's going to start gnawing off your arm next.
Yeah, I'll gnaw his.
I don't
You
know.
don't need that hand, do
It's
you?
pretty stringy.
Oh no, wait, do this one.
Oh, that's right, you're right-handed. Thank you, Red Eye, for joining. So this is how you do it. Now you've got this on your profile
All right.
too.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the invite. It's been fun.
Yeah. You take care of
And
yourself and hug everyone.
well, you do the same, and I won't hug anybody, but
Well, when
I'll
COVID
give
is
them
over.
your regards. I'll tell you, it's a mess down here. We got people dropping like flies.
Oh, honey.
So
Stay safe.
so this is symbolic.
Stay safe.
You have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
You too. We'll talk to you later. Bye. Everyone say bye.
Yes, I say bye now. Bye.
Just clean that up. There we go. Yeah, honey, but we're going. I'm going. It was Martin came back in. Virtual hugs. Nice. Martin came back in to eat. He's been going and doing personal stuff himself. So this was a don't poke the lion opportunity. I'm obviously not going to make it to 250, but that's because the people who normally would join me are not around. They are on other people's broadcasts. Oh, they're on. Yeah. So yeah. Don, you came in just to say goodbye. Now, everyone, you can share the repeat. You can share the replay. That will still get me to my 250. It doesn't seem to matter whether it's live or replay. I don't think. So by all means, go ahead and share. Help with your 250. Yeah, I'm not gonna make it. I'm starving. I am so starving. I'm not gonna make it tonight. 190. Yeah, you can see how many you're at when you use the computer. You can't see how many you're at when you're on a portable device. That's okay. Go ahead and give a share anyway. Call me later if you like. Yeah, Amber. Sure. Yeah. Good night. Good night. Good night. Wait a minute. Um. Yeah, Amber. We should figure it out. My brain is everywhere lately. Everywhere, and I mean everywhere. This whole menopause thing is playing havoc. Playing havoc. Don't eat Martin's leg. He looks kind of stringy. He is actually kind of stringy. Although he has more on him than he did when I met him. When I met him, his ribs showed.
That's true.
We'd go swimming and he'd look emaciated. You'd get wet and be a...
They look like something out of the Ganges.
You did. All right, folks. We are going to dash. And, oh no! Now Too Late for Love comes on.
Just want to stay on, and I'll make some food.
Will you?
What's
I want something with dairy.
talking about dairy?
I have not had enough dairy. Menopause. Dairy. No. Everyone share. It looks like I'm staying on for a little bit.
Suck on.
Excuse me, you'll get me a cow to suck on? I am so happy you're not wearing, I'm happy you're not wearing a mic. My husband, ladies and gentlemen. Jay gave me your number. I'll send you a text. Okay. If you like Gristle, you're there. Good night. Hang on, Red Eye. Apparently I'm staying on. Darn, I missed you. Kinda, yeah. I'm gonna stay on for an extra 10 minutes. I'm gonna let Martin cook, apparently. But I am so bloated because I haven't eaten. I'm supposed to not eat more than 4 hours apart, and I haven't eaten. So I was almost wondering if we could pull apart some chicken legs and make uh, the um, the bagel thingies, and put olives and onion, and I know it means you're gonna have to open that one olive container, but that's fine. Um, and uh, and do like little pizzas, bagel pizzas. I mean, yeah, and shred it on top, and put a little cheese down first, or put the chicken really close together so all the cheese doesn't go through the middle, and pile on that cheese and nuke that sucker. Oh, you have to toast the bagel thingies first. Yeah. What do you think? Yeah? That'll give them an extra 10 minutes, and because it won't take long to do that. Food. Food. So I guess I'm here for another 10, 15 minutes because Martin's decided to cook. You're not feeling so great, Christina? Oh, I wasn't yesterday. Or was it the day before? I have no idea what day it is anymore. Thank you, COVID. Yummy. Thank you. If you make bagels, be sure to be gentle with them. What? Gentle with them? These are those gluten-free bagel thingies. They say they're bagels, but they're kind of flat. Oh, Gentile. Now that I lean forward, I can actually see the word Gentile. Now I get it. Now I get it. But yes, today we had a lovely conversation about relationships and relationships with each other, relationships with ourselves, relationships with the world, and all those other great things. Saber Project coming along. That's for another broadcast, but it's a bit on a stall because we've been focusing on the cutter and the printer, and it's been way too cold in that corner for it to operate. So, yeah, not happy. And looking for another place and trying to tiptoe around here is crazy. So, yeah, not happy. Not happy. And we are still looking at sponsorships, and everyone sign on to HAPS if you're not already. It's February, yes it is. Sign on to HAPS if you haven't already, and start collecting your coins because as a beta, they are presently offering free coins if you do certain things. And on your profile, you will see there is a little tab that says coins. Go ahead and do those challenges, and you can easily increase your coin count. Oh, my technical difficulties, I hate that situation. Sunday is Super Bowl. Oh my God, I've completely lost track. I don't even pay attention. I pay attention to the Super Bowl commercials afterwards. I go looking for them on YouTube. That makes me happy. Super Bowl. I actually did a Super Bowl commercial that was being shot in Toronto. That was like 89? It was a cat and dog. I don't know if it was cat food or dog food or whatever, but it featured these cats and dogs coming out of a limo, and I was one of about 5 photographer reporter types following these animals around, taking fake pictures because they weren't going to load the cameras with film. Yes, that's how long ago it was. 14 is V-Day. Well, I want to know who started calling it V-Day because every time I hear V-Day, all I can think of is D-Day, and then it was two completely different things. you know, Besides, St. Valentine, how did Valentine's Day become about love? That's a whole different kind of relationship altogether. Lady Gaga had Oreos, they're great. Okay, that's a bit of a segue. Movie Matthew. Um, but it's crazy. Go ahead and share, folks. I'm not going to be on much longer, just long enough for Martin to do this. But if we can get to the 250, that would be ecstatic. Even if you guys are watching the replays later on to see what was discussed. But no, whenever you see Don't Poke the Lion, they are my broadcasts. They're not both of us. So it's not builds and stuff like that. We are hoping to get back on track with that. We'll see how tomorrow goes. Tomorrow we have an interview, basically first thing in the morning chat with a different webpage developer to get a store up online because this other guy has just been kind of dicking around and not communicating, and I've spent tons of hours putting together photos and videos and stuff just to have him say, oh, those files are too big. So I said, what's the parameters for Spotify? And he went, oh, there's no parameters, just what Spotify needs. Dude, we've already wasted the 3 months free, and now Spotify's going to start charging me, and nothing's up. Nope. I just seen an interview with Corey Haim sister along with their mother. They live in Toronto. Nice. A dress made of orders? Shorty did pork chops. Oreos. No, I suddenly had an impression of like fast food takeout orders or the slips that they use to order food, at the restaurant and clipped to her dress. Calling it V-Day sounds like an STD. Well, we know where Amber's brain is. Nice. Nice. Yeah, send me a text a little later on. I may have to get bogged down in things tonight, but if you tell me that you're going to call me tomorrow or something, then that'll give me a heads up and I can arrange things or be available. Tomorrow during the day, I can easily chat on the phone while I'm doing all this other stuff. Our meeting with this woman is at 10:30, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, we can't sit around and wait for the industry to completely start up. We have to be progressive. Our brains are going to mush. That's part of the reason why we moved to HAPS when we did, because I was going to wait until Periscope went down completely. But yeah, this sitting around doing nothing is making Martin and I, crazy. I'm from Toronto and lived there until love her to Los Angeles. So Corey could pursue an acting career. I assume you meant move to Los Angeles. Call me when. Oh, you're open. Oh, cool. Okay. Okie dokie. If you don't hear from me, do poke me. I've lost track of days and times and, how is HAPS? HAPS is awesome. HAPS is awesome. HAPS is like an undersimplified version of OBS, so it's not as big and fancy and complicated because it automatically connects to your other social medias as opposed to you having to put in codes and links and everything. Yes, sorry, okay. Thank you, Amber. And it's, you can bring people in visually, not just audio, and you can put videos on and photos on. You guys can even drag things into the comments. Here, let me show you. I'm just going to grab this picture that I used yesterday to demonstrate. So you've got, if you're on, especially on if you're on a desktop, I don't think you can do it on a device. I haven't figured out how. But if you're on your computer, you just grab your picture from whatever app you've got it in, and you drag it over, and you drop it in the comments, and then you let it load up, and you type something, and you send, and the photograph will show up in the comments. So you can share pictures with me, you can share, drawings with me, you can share a lot of things, so that the app has got a lot of advantages. On top of that, it's monetized. So if you check in every day, you get extra coins. If you all these different things you can get by being on here. So I'm very impressed. I'm very, very impressed. If you're on your computer, can you use your webcam on HAPS? This is my webcam. If I want, I can even change cameras. Let's see, I'm going to tell it to change the camera to my display camera, which I don't like using because it's really dark, as you see. So instead of using the FaceTime camera, I use my webcam. And as you can see, I've got a cordless mic. Well, it's wireless in the sense that this is its sender, and a little receiver is plugged into my device. Yes, that is the original. That is actually one of the ones from the show. We did, that was years ago. We did a bit for Ed the Sock. Martin, did you put it on bagel setting? Because it smells like you may be baking the back of them. Remember, it burns if you don't. Yeah. Yeah. Oops. You have to put it on bagel setting or they burn every time. Oops. Martin. Yes. You give me the slightly less burnt one? How sweet. You can choose your mic source. You can choose any source. You can, here, I'll show you, I'm going to go like this. I've changed my layout. You haven't seen it yet because I haven't put anything in. And, you know, I made this little video here. Oopsie, I did it wrong. I meant to do this. There we go. So you can do layouts and you can like nice control over it, keep it on the flow of it. Right, so I'm really enjoying the app. When you join the first 7 are members of the development team because it's still in beta.
Keep it time.
And you can tag them in the app. That way you can change your volume within the app. So if the video is staging you drop it down, or I just turn my app. So
Go on,
I
camera.
love the control of it. Video down a bit. You can just up and down. You guys have a few seconds behind. You know, of course there's lag because it's going through multiple devices. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? It's blinding.
Nails. Scratched it to death.
I've got, oh, I know.
I'd like to, that's my favorite thing. That's my favorite.
See, like that, I turned the gain down on my control from my mic so that I wouldn't drown out Red Eye. So I'm sure this is better.
How much styrofoam?
Way too much styrofoam.
Oh, okay, Amber. We'll see you again later. And if you want, yeah, wood sounds great. So yeah, you can control things up and down. You can reload everything to you know, reestablish it. Much more goober. Much better, okay. Yeah, so you've got complete control because every single thing on here has its own little gear. That you can move things up and down and left and right. And I love the award thing, and I love the sponsorship thing. I'm hoping that soon we can just get rid of our Patreon and do sponsorships from here, because it's much more controllable. It's much more feasible for us to do it on here, and we can set different schedules every week as opposed to having to stick to the same schedule all the time. So yeah, folks, I don't think I'm going to make it to the 250. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So I am going to let you guys go. I'm going to plug things in. Everything's about half dead. So I am going to plug things in and go eat food because Martin's almost ready. Because now, of course, if he overmelts the cheese because he burnt the back of the bagel and the front is not toasted as much, he's not going to be able to put the cheese in for as long as I want. So it's going to be more like cheese slices. Silly Martin. So I am going to go. Remember, respect yourself more than anyone else can. Don't worry. I am going to come up with something specific for Don't Poke the Lion, including a particular video that will be for Don't Poke the Lion. I don't know what yet. I haven't gotten that far. Amber will talk to you soon. Everyone else, thank you for joining us. By all means, share after the fact. You can also leave comments after the fact, which is another thing I love about this app. And everyone, take care of yourself. Stay safe. And see you later. I'm going to run one more video just because. Bye.
And speaking of the 80s, our final judges are proudly returning to the Toronto area, Christina Carr and Martin Hunger, aka Carr Hunger Creative. They met in 1987 at a Doctor Who convention and have been attached at the hip ever since. What has kept them together is the insane need to create and perform. Titles under their belts include master costumers, cosplayers, prop makers, director, special skills and character actors, writer, co-producers, and much more. Working for productions and projects as small as local theater and festivals to mid-sized conventions and promoters to as large as mainstream TV series and movies. They have recently moved back from Vancouver to Toronto to support their ever-growing entertainment industry. Find them online as Carr Hunger, with a dot in between every one.
Sorry?
With a dot in between every letter.
C-A-R-R.
Yep, C-A-R-R-H-U-N-G-R. And feel free to stop them to chat about their exploits. Martin and Christina, welcome home. Good to see you.